in this computer. Hare Krishna. Now we're recording. Welcome, Hare Krishna. Everyone who's tuning in, anyone who's watching the video. Let's share. I was just a few minutes ago, I was just looking out for the Brhad Bhagavatamrta. Share my screen, and there's a bookmark there, so it should be in a place which we left off last time. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Kauravani Pacharane Devasisha Sanyafhari Pashtatara Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, Hare Krishna. So I just had to look a couple of verses back, and we're reading, it's a discussion, you could say, Shabda Brahma, or Shabda, or sound, transcendental sound is recorded in the Veda. And different Vedic scriptures are giving their authoritative opinion between moksha and the attainment of Krishna consciousness. They're given in different evidences. You can recall that conversation?
Can I ask something quick? Please forgive me.
No problem.
Why so many people want to achieve moksha? What does it mean when you achieve moksha? I know liberation, but liberation of material desires, or you're just going to flow in the empty space?
Yeah, generally, generally our understanding, as we have concluded, as anyone can conclude from reading Srila Prabhupada's books, our conception of liberation, if you want to use the word moksha, means to be reinstated in our original constitutional position, technically speaking, different from this changeable, gross and subtle body, to be situated as Krishna's eternal servant. But generally, moksha means some type of impersonal, some type of mayavadi stroke, some type of impersonal oneness. That's generally the common understanding of moksha. So when you hear it spoken of in Hinduic terms, generally that's what it's meaning. It's meaning some type of freedom from the miseries of this material world. And that's accomplished by some type of oneness, katvam. All right, so that. Okay. All right, does anyone like to read then on text? I think the bookmarks.
Yeah, sure.
198. Go ahead.
Okay. Tathaitad anukulani puravrattani santacha naiva sangachate tasmad atha-vadatva kalpana. And many historical accounts support these statements we have made. To presume, therefore, that our words are merely overstated praise is certainly unreasonable. Commentary. That devotional service is vastly superior to mere liberation is not an idea one should dismiss as atha-vada, exaggeration, for it has been factually established by ancient histories recorded in the Puranas and other scriptures. The consensus indicated by thousands of accounts from varied sources is too strong to disregard. One should account concerns a Brahmana resident of Dwarka, whose sons had all died at birth, unaware that in fact they had been taken away by Lord Mahavishnu to the abode of liberation. The Brahmana complained to King Ugrasena, and Arjuna offered to protect the son born next. But in spite of Arjuna's utmost efforts, that infant mysteriously disappeared soon after the birth. Bitterly reviled by the Brahmana for this failure, Arjuna was about to kill himself in shame. But Krishna brought him to the abode of liberation, where they found the sons, whom they forgot to Dwarka, the abode of devotional service. In another instant, the three sages, Ekata, Dvita, and Trita, went to Svetadvipa and made a great effort to achieve darshana of the personality of Godhead. But even though they were fixed in a level of Brahmana realization virtually, equal to that of 4 Kumaras, they were unable to see the Lord. They were qualified for mukti, but not bhakti. The 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Lord Vishnu visited King Prithu, the incarnation of the Lord's power of ruleship. When the Lord urged the king to choose the best benediction, Prithu Maharaj extolled the Lord with excellent prayers and then said, "My Lord, due to your illusionary energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position. And out of ignorance, they always desire the material happiness of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you. Rather, as a father not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son. Please bestow upon me whatever you think best." The narration continues. After hearing Prithu Maharaj's prayer, the Lord, the seer of the universe, said to the king, "My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in devotional service. As you yourself very intelligently express, only by such purity of purpose can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya." Bhagavatam 4:20, 31, 32.
Just a quick thing here. And notice that there is an abode here, but Krishna brought him to the abode of liberation, where they found his sons. So it seems to indicate that there's something, there's some place where jivas go. Let me look there. They brought, it seems to indicate some place. I think it's perhaps the impersonal Brahman or so. Anyone has that any explanation on this? Arjuna was about to kill himself in shame, but Krishna brought him.
I kind of remember the story.
Yeah, it's in the Krishna book or Bhagavatam, isn't it?
Isn't it Mahavishnu who wanted to see Krishna?
Yes, this
So
is part of
kind of
this
made the
pastime, I
arrangement
think,
like
yeah.
this, and how Krishna and Arjuna going through all these different layers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Remember
so
something like that. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that.
yeah, great,
Pastime.
okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Okay, great. All right. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, you can continue, Mother Sahachari.
Okay. Text 199. If a theorizer acts with such a presumption, nonetheless, it will fill him with aesthetic delusions and cast him into hells, one after another, from which he will not be able to escape. Commentary. If one refuses to take seriously the words and behavior of elevated persons, and one acts as if the glories of devotional service were mere exaggeration, he will become an atheist. He will lose faith in the authority of the Vedic Shastras, become more and more proud of his own scholarship, and concoct theories and atha-vada that will earn him hellish punishments from which he will long be unable to escape. As the Narada Purana warns, "O best of Brahmanas, the Puranas authoritatively teach all aspects of religious life. Those who say that these Puranic teachings are mere atha-vada are sure to suffer in hell." Such statements are meant to tell proud logicians they must give up their groundless, arrogant theories and accept the devotional service to the Supreme Lord is even greater than liberation. Speculators, when refused, will fail into punishments of hell. The philosophy they should accept has been set forth above in text 178 through 181. To attain liberation by the practices set forth in the Vedic scriptures may take many lifetimes. Most so-called transcendentalists who aim at liberation encounter nothing but frustration. Therefore, one should understand the endeavor for personal liberation to be fruitless and put it aside. Text 200. Indeed, how can the scriptures glorify liberation, which outright demons are seen to achieve? Demons those same scriptures condemned, killers even of cows and brahmanas. Commentary. Here is another easily understood argument. Since we see from spiritual histories that demons like Kamsa and Aghasura achieve liberation, persons of the opposite nature should not aspire for it. Even scriptures that promote liberation condemn demons who kill cows and brahmanas, and who blaspheme the Vedas and Vedic sacrifices. Srimad Bhagavatam portrays this demoniac mentality in the advice of King Kamsa's ministers. O king, your adherents in all respects shall therefore kill the Vedic Brahmanas, the persons engaged in offering sacrifices and austerities, and the cows that supply milk, which gives clarified butter for sacrifice. Demons perform many such atrocities. Therefore, the destination they attain should also be considered abominable. Text 201. Saints and demons are in all respects opposite in nature. It is therefore only fitting that they be opposite in their disciplines and goals. Commentary. In personal character and behavior, devotees of the Supreme Lord completely differ from his enemies, and so the goals of their lives and the disciplines they practice to achieve that goal also completely differ. Devotees practice worshipping the personality of Godhead and meditating on his lotus feet, and demons practice just the opposite. They cultivate the understanding that their own self is one with the Supreme. The goal of the devotees is prema bhakti, the goal of the demons, mukti. Granted, the Bhakti Shastras sometimes equal devotional service and hatred of the Lord because they both give spiritual results. For example, we find in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 10:87-23. Simply by always thinking of the Lord, his enemies attain the same supreme truth, whom sages worship, fixed in yoga by controlling their breath, mind, and senses. Similarly, we Shrutis, who generally see you as all-pervading, will achieve from your lotus feet the same nectar. Your consorts relish by their loving attraction to your mighty serpentine arms, for you look upon us and your consorts in the same way. And in the 7th canto, 7:130, Narada Muni says, whether by lust, enmity, fear, affection, or devotional service, many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful acts. The real message of these verses, however, is that loving the Supreme Lord and hating him are equal only in the sense that both release one from the material cycle of birth and death, and they both demonstrate the potency of remembering the Supreme Lord, seeing him and receiving him his mercy. At one point in the 7th canto, Narada even seems to glorify hatred of the Lord. By devotional service, one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity towards him. That is my opinion. According to Sanatana Goswami, however, this is just Narada's clever way of expressing the natural satisfaction he feels in the devotional service of the Lord and the depth and boldness of his pure love for the Lord. Otherwise, how could he have spoken thus in the royal assembly of a great Vaishnava like Yudhishthira Maharaj and in the presence of Sri Krishna Deva, the supreme teacher and eager connoisseur of the rasas of devotional service? Another explanation of Narada's peculiar praise of hatred towards the Supreme Lord is that he is subtly ridiculing the impersonal liberation of Sayujya, merging into the existence of the Supreme. What he is actually saying then is that by being inimical to the Lord, one achieves only the worthless state of becoming one with the Lord. Tan Mayata. Text 202.
Let's just have a pause here. Any questions or comments here? Yeah, I remember this part of Bhagavatam. Sometimes I often describe it as Narada Muni in his humility. He's glorifying Kamsa. Why is he glorifying Kamsa? Because of his absorption, because his mind is absorbed in Krishna. Yeah, so that's a great achievement, even if it's done through karma, dvishat, bhuyat, snehat. This verse here is from, as you know, Bhagavatam. Whether by so-called lust, as in the form of the gopis, enmity, fear, this is Shishapal, Kamsa, affection is the Pandavas, or devotional service, that's Narada Muni. And they all obtained liberation simply by thinking about Krishna. Yeah. But that liberation is it's not the same as we know as what's achieved by the devotees they achieve actually the abode of the Lord. Is anyone can say a contradiction in this? There is one demon that was not just liberated into Brahman, but actually achieved a position in the spiritual world. It's quite well known.
Is the Daksha?
No? Oh, no.
Now got liberation as a mother.
There's a few devotees.
Was it Agasura?
Agashura.
Agasura?
Yeah, what was the
He
history?
merged into Krishna's body. I mean, he.
Yeah, go on. And
Sorry?
yeah, go on, carry on, Mavlavanga.
Well, when Krishna came out of Agasura, Agasura's soul entered the body of Krishna.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of about what his destination was. But here, yeah, but he didn't achieve the position that this particular demon achieved. He didn't achieve the personal service towards Krishna by him being killed by Krishna, and that's the difference. Okay, Krishna gives the liberation to
Putana get it as a mother.
Yeah, that's it. Putana. Putana. Yeah, she actually got.
The beginning.
Sorry, say again, Mavlavanga.
No, I'm just saying. Shinobi said that like first off.
Okay, yeah, I missed it. Yeah, so Putana. Yeah, and I just heard today from my Guru Maharaj, just happened to mention on the podcast that although she took birth as an assistant, is when it says she took birth as a mother to Krishna, doesn't mean Mother Yasoda.
No.
It means that she has motherly, or she, yeah, let me remember that she took birth as an assistant to Mother Yasoda, but she wasn't fortunate to experience any substantial feelings of Vatsalya Bhav because she was a demon. That's the first time I heard that today. So she was in that position, and no doubt she was enchanted by Krishna, but the actual feelings of Vatsalya Bhav, then she could not or did not experience, even though she's I guess it's in Bhoma Vrindavan. But still, she obtained a position where she's getting darshan of Krishna. I don't understand it exactly, but you'd think if she was there, she would have intense feelings of devotion. But it seems like because she came from the background that she did in trying to kill Krishna, her rasa was not as as Mother Yasoda, etc., not fully complete in that rasa. But anyway, the main point is that to be absorbed in Krishna. So sometimes it's even mentioned, no matter how one, but here, no matter how that is done, the important, it's a great blessing if one's mind can be absorbed in Krishna. So, but Narada Muni is pointing this out because here, yeah, described here. Oh, yeah, let's read that again. Demonstrates the potency of remembering the Lord. Yeah, and it's not an example to be followed. Yeah, we should not want to kill Krishna. Yeah, and our destination won't be exactly in the same rasa as the residents of Vrindavan. Yeah, all right.
This Putana thing, I just heard, I think yesterday or something, I was listening to a class, and it said that when Putana came, and then baby Krishna was in a cot, so he's down, and she's looking from the top. And when she saw him and realized how his beauty.
Oh yeah, struck her.
So that for that second, she felt really that motherly love, so beautiful Krishna, and Krishna then reciprocated with that.
Okay, yeah.
I heard Ramapad Maharaj saying it. Or
Yeah,
like
there's other descriptions like that as well. At the actual moment when they realize their futility of trying to kill Krishna, then they kind of become humbled and they have some sense of appreciation. So some sense of appreciation is, to one degree or another, it's actually devotion. The same happened in the Battle of Kurukshetra, that the troops who were killed by Arjuna's arrows, or by Arjuna, because Krishna didn't kill anyone. It was Arjuna was doing the killing. But those soldiers who happened to see Krishna, they very much appreciated Krishna. Yeah, appreciated his form as Vishnu, as Krishna, being a warrior, and they all achieved liberation. They all achieved spiritual planets. So the main point here is also that what to speak of someone who's actually cultivating bhakti. If that person leaves this world in force of Krishna, there's no questions about whether they will be liberated, so achieve the highest perfection. If even demons achieve a position of moksha, what to speak of the devotees who are cultivating not unfavorable devotional service, but favorable. Yeah,
I was thinking of that Maharaj was saying something like Krishna loves us so much, and this is how he was going. And I was thinking from that little point, just to feel that, oh, he's so beautiful, look where she got. So we should be so careful with devotees, and we should be so, devotees are special.
Oh yeah, that reflects
understanding that little bit, and Krishna gave her mother's position. Can you imagine the devotees are trying to develop love?
Very good point.
Careful with that.
Devotees come, as we all know, devotees come in all shapes and sizes. Interesting characteristics that we may see in devotees, but we should always have the highest regard for devotees. Who's to know where they're going to be? Who's to know where Mother Mongol is going to be in his next life, or Mother Chandravali, Mother Lavanga Latika, Mother Sahacharya, anyone here? Who's to know? Yeah, those devotees in the temple are coming. Yeah,
maybe cleaning some toilets. I will go clean some toilets and be blissed out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Nothing wrong with cleaning toilets.
Sorry, Mother Guy said something about cleaning the toilet.
There's nothing wrong with cleaning toilets.
I know, I like cleaning them. There's no problem. I love cleaning them.
Anyway,
it's very therapeutic.
I don't know if there's... Anyway, whatever it may be, I don't know what form toilets take in the spiritual world. I think it's a field, But anyway, the main point is that let's be absorbed the mind in Krishna. Yeah, so Narada Muni, he glorifies the demons because of their ekanta, because of their intensity of meditation upon Krishna. They're to be praised. So that's what Narada Muni is mentioning. Otherwise, it's mentioned here. Otherwise, how could Narada possibly praise those persons who actually blasphemed Krishna? Shishupal specifically blasphemed Krishna. Why would Narada preach their glories in a great assembly? Why? Because he's glorifying Krishna, and he's glorifying being absorbed in Krishna, and the results that come from it, even if one is a quote-unquote demon. Yes. All right, let's read a bit more. Someone else like to read?
Madhu Mangal's got his hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Madhu Mangal, if you're still there. I can't see you, your camera.
I can read. I'm here. I just need
your audio's going through the tube. Yeah, we can't hear. Okay, let's have someone else for now.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Go ahead. He can't hear me. Mother Mongol Prabhu, we can't hear you, unfortunately.
Page 2, yeah? Text 202.
All right, he's determined. Okay, go on. We can give it a try, but we're having trouble hearing you. So start reading, but if we can't hear you properly, because I think you've got a weak connection there in Leicester, then we're handing reading to someone else. Go on. No, sorry. We can't hear you.
Sadanam. No?
Okay, go on, quick, read, we can hear you.
Better now?
Yeah, better now.
Yes.
Better now. Okay. So, Krishna Bhaktavya
Just
Sadutvam.
just read the
Sadanam.
translation, because
Translation.
yeah.
Okay. One becomes saintly only by devotion to Krishna. That is the highest means of spiritual attainment, and it brings one to the highest goal. Lord, just if you can change the page, please.
I did. Oh yeah, you got a slow feet there. So.
Lord Krishna, Lord's feet. Commentary. Person who adhere to prescribed ritual duties and those who cultivate Vedic knowledge may be considered serious spiritual practitioners by the general public, but confidential devotees know that only devotional service to Shri Krishna is fully spiritual and that all other practices are only of relative value. Thus, the real sadhu are Krishna's pure devotees. In Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.63-68, after Durvasa Muni suffers embarrassment in his encounter with the great devotee Ambarish Maharaj, Lord Vishnu himself said to Durvasa, I'm completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I'm not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desire, I sit only within the core of their hearts. What to speak of my devotees? Even the devotees of my devotees are very dear to me. I'm just waiting for the page. The pure devotees are always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotees. My devotees do not know anyone but me, and I do not know anyone but them. Devotional service to Krishna is the best spiritual practice because it leads to the attainment of Krishna's lotus feet. Other practices like karma, jnana, and vairagya are of value only when they play a subordinate role by helping one develop pure bhakti. Krishna's lotus feet are the supreme goal of life, unequaled by any other achievements, including realization of Brahman. And for those great souls who know the truth and have a taste for the nectar of pure devotional service, the nectar of serving at Lord Krishna's lotus feet is itself the goal. Commentary. Although one may easily understand that devotional service is greater than impersonal liberation and is therefore the ultimate goal of life, one might still ask how it can also be the means, sadhana, to attain the great goal, to attain that goal. This verse points out that the intimate devotees of Krishna enjoy the taste of transcendental rasas, loving exchanges, which are described as fragrance, cool honey exuding from his lotus feet. The rare souls who are greedy to taste such rasas know a pleasure for far superior to any others. Even the ecstasy derived from seeing the Supreme Lord in person seems pale compared to the ecstasy of serving him in one eternal relationship with him. This will be explained more elaborately later in the Sri Brhad Bhagavatamrta. Those who aspire to realize the impersonal Brahman may achieve realization in various ways. They may become Atmarama, joyful in the self, and Jiva Mukta, liberated even within this life. Nonetheless, even the most perfect impersonalists actually know only the cessation of material pain. But Vaishnava devotees, whenever, whether they have attained Vaikuntha or still live in material bodies, by the mercy of the Lord, enjoy the most intense and positive spiritual happiness.
Okay, a couple of interesting points here, I think. One is that the means is the same as the ends. So our devotional practices, it's not like in processes of impersonal meditation. There's a certain vidhi that they follow, and then they attain a certain state after following those particular practices. But for the devotees, what they're actually doing, i.e. serving Krishna, is a state of supreme liberation. So perhaps devotees have experienced that. Perhaps it's not exactly a state of supreme liberation, but yes, to some degree or another. So that the services we do, the prayers that we say, and you could say the songs that we sing, chanting Hare Krishna, Mangalarti, or attending, listen to a class, etc., Shravanam, Kirtanam, then sometimes these become very extraordinary and become very tasty. Although we've been doing that, we're doing the same things every day. And then by the grace of Krishna, what we're doing becomes realized as being very, very sweet and very, very special. Yeah. So, but in other words, do you understand that the means is the same as the end? So, perfection for us, of course, there is perfection of achieving a particular loving relationship with Krishna. But I'm just saying, from another perspective, then perfection for us is to realize the glories of what we are already doing. Yeah. And it described here further. It described here, and this is going to be described further. This will be interesting. That the ecstasy in actually serving Krishna is more than what's derived from seeing him in person. So that will be interesting, because often we hear about the great fortune of great devotees who actually see Krishna. But here what's going to be explained, that the ecstasy of service to Krishna's lotus feet, how it's more than the ecstasy of seeing him in a person. So that's quite deep, So we're going to hear about that. So
I've heard that, like Abhishek time and Aarti time, watching Abhishek, watching Aarti, you benefit more, because you don't commit offenses. And
yeah, I haven't heard described more. That's interesting. I haven't heard described more. I guess we can say more from the perspective of a personal servant being negligent and becoming too familiar. One is observing from a more awe and reverence perspective, and there's a bit of distance there, so one may be safe in that regard.
Yeah, that way.
But but definitely watching the Aarti, one experiences that one is like attending the Aarti. Yeah. But I was just going to say something. Yeah, go on, carry on.
You stand there and your head is all like, okay, you go, I go, this, that. The mood is different. But if you just sit there and watch the whole thing, I think you're in a better position.
So Mother Chandravali's volunteering to sit back and watch everything.
I would like to join. I want to join.
And there again, Madhu Mangal wants to join in. But this is the absolute nature of devotion to Krishna. Say, by serving him, when it's expressed that one actually experiences more bliss than actually by seeing him. What's actually the devotee is actually seeing Krishna and experiencing Krishna and experiencing the rasa of being with Krishna in service to Krishna. So they're seeing him and feeling him and experiencing his association in that service. So that's what I think that's what it means, that is absolute. So just by serving him, it's not as if you understand, so that bliss is coming because Okay, one might not have the personal association of Krishna, but one's got the service of Krishna. And that reminds one of Krishna. And that reminding one floods one with rasa, floods one with one's heart with bliss, as if one was personally associating with him. Yeah. So one realizes Krishna in service. Yeah. Because Krishna very much, that's why the rasa of Shanta rasa is considered a lower rasa. Because one's just looking at Krishna, you know, they're not chopping any vegetables for Krishna. They're not emptying the bins for Krishna. They're not cleaning the flower fridge for Krishna. They're not doing this for Krishna. They're just there. They're just looking at it. They just comfort. That's why, some persons come, they come. It's good. They come and take darshan of Krishna. They stare. Some people. I wonder what Krishna must wonder. Sometimes I wonder what it's like, where Krishna must feel like some people just come and they stare at him intently.
On that point, I heard something as well. Sorry.
Just carry on this a bit.
When you take darshan,
Carry
take darshan from the lotus feet to the head, then don't just go on to another deity. You have to come down and then go to the other deity.
Yeah. So
I heard that in a class. I was amazing,
Yes. We should become like bees when we take darshan of Krishna. Devotees' eyes are like bees. So in other words, back to the point. Yeah, thank you for that point, Mother Chandravati. Just like someone who just comes to take darshan, they're just taking darshan, they're staring Krishna out. Just staring at him. Just staring at him. I can feel it with him. I mean, there's one, I'm sure we all know who we're speaking about within our temple. There's one person who comes, he hangs on the gates for hours, He just stares at Krishna. We all know.
But I think you...
And wait a minute, Mother Mongo, wait a minute. He's just staring at Krishna. And in my heart, I'm just thinking, why don't you do some service for Krishna? I'm sure Krishna's thinking the same thing. What's the point of just staring at me? Well, at least now, with all due respects, he's actually chanting. He's actually chanting there. But the point is that we can take darshan of Krishna through service to Krishna. Yeah, that's how we get darshan, really, because it's pleasing Krishna, because we're doing service. And I actually just reading that my Guru Maharaj was mentioning about this point of service. If we look at the highest example of devotees, it's the gopis. And they're very, 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 very busy in serving Krishna in hundreds of different ways in the residents of Vrindavan. They're very active. They've all got some particular service that they're doing for Krishna. Like, I hope you don't mind, share a little bit of personal realization ahead. I was in New York, was in the Brooklyn Temple, and me and Sringavata Prabhu, on the day I left to catch a plane in the morning for 4 hours, we did the Maha clean of the kitchen. It was wonderful. It's pretty arduous work though. Cleaning the ceiling, it was pretty dirty. It had to be cleaned properly for years. And I mean, we was teaching there, so I was doing service. But I finished and we get prepared to leave, and I was walking down after cleaning the kitchen, and I felt I felt a little bit of bliss and happiness, which seemed to be coming from Radha Govinda, seemed to be saying thank you. I felt so happy in my heart. It very much felt like Radha Govinda were very happy with what I had just done. And that was the most blissful experience of my whole stay in New York. It was the moments after cleaning the kitchen. Krishna, you're here, doing this and doing that, and you're in the temple, but okay, you're doing some teaching, that's good, but now you clean my kitchen. Thank you so much. So anyway, this point is that realization comes through service to Krishna, because Krishna he becomes happy to reveal himself. Sorry, Madhu Mangalbur kept on shutting you down. He was trying to speak.
That's okay. Sorry, I didn't want to steal your idea. But I wanted to say, the moment we serve, the moment we connect more to Krishna and the love flows. If you don't, it's like you are just there. We have a saying, if you keep the water in a bucket, it will start to stink.
Stagnate.
But if you keep giving it out and you keep engaging, it will refill more and more, fresher and fresher and fresher, till you will feel blissful.
Yeah, nice example. Yeah. So this again, this is what it means, that the means is the same as the goal. So it's not like perfection for us doesn't mean that you stop serving Krishna and you sit down in some type of meditation. No, it just means that you realize more of that what you're doing is actually completely spiritual. Anyway,
That's why this is school of bhakti. It's not school of Ashtanga yoga.
Yeah, it's not school of mukti. We have the school of bhakti at Bhagavatamrta. School of bhakti. Okay.
So can I ask you, you said about the gopis being so busy, so their love is in separation, right?
Yeah, that's their underlying mood. Well, separation is a very integral part of their relationship with Krishna.
So us as practitioners, can we also, like when want to do some services, you can't do it for one reason or the other, or you are in like Arti, okay, you can't all go onto the altar and offer Arti, so you watch. Abhishek, you can't all be. So can that be in that kind of mood, like you want to do it, it's kind of separation, you're not near Krishna, but you're still desiring all these things.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a favorable. It is, if we're in the right consciousness, then we can, although we might not have the same opportunity than say others, just that feeling of wanting to, that's an aspect of Ripalamba. You could say, separation. And that's, if we remember rightly, that was the mood of Gopal Kumar, isn't it? Remember, he sees the Brahmins serving Jagannath in the temple, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he's thinking, oh, if only I had that type of exchange, if only I could do that. And then he got the position of the king of Puri and elsewhere. So, so we can,
I'm just thinking of connecting it for my
thought. And Krishna will fulfill all of one's desires. Maybe not in this life, maybe in the next life.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's read on to text 204. So you can, I think, Madhu Mangal.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I just ask a quick question?
Please, you can.
Yeah. So is it right to have that desire to serve? Like, say, for example, I'm helping out with the Rajbhog, but sometimes I feel I wish I was on the altar. I would love to be on the altar, but is it a good thing to have that desire?
It's a good thing, and different devotees will have their different moods. Some devotees will be quite fulfilled in just cooking for Krishna.
Yeah.
And that's their mood, and they're quite happy. Others, they will have the mood of wanting to be on the altar and to dress Krishna. So that's also definitely a favorable mood to actually cultivate, and it's not wrong. But sometimes it can be misunderstood. Sometimes I've seen in my years of being Hepajara, etc., is that sometimes it's seen the idea that that's perfection, and unless I do that, my service is not complete. Whereas unless I get to dress Radha Krishna or Radha Gokulananda, it's not complete. So that in one sense it may be materially tinged. It's not, is that it may not be a completely pure spiritual desire. You just because the fact is someone could have more devotion if they're emptying the bins in a temple than a person dressed as Krishna.
Yeah. No, thank you. That really answers well, because I'm not creative at all. I don't think I can ever, dress deities because I'm not very good. I don't have that skill or the art. So I think what I'm doing right now is good, and I'm happy with it. But sometimes I feel, oh, I wish I was skilled. I wish I could do more.
Yeah, well, you can do. It's not a bad desire. Good desire,
Okay.
you know. It's interesting. Sometimes I'm dressing Radha Krishna, and I wish I could have a more. Just trying different moods, different bodies have different moods. So wanting to serve Krishna, but but just so I'm just highlighting, and perhaps you're not perhaps making this point exactly, but reminding me of the point where sometimes devotional service and the activities within a temple is seen from a point of view of material hierarchy. If I could get Brahman, if I could get initiation, okay, and then I get Brahman, if I could get in the Bajaj department, and I'm cooking, if I could get on the altar. Seemed like it's seen from a material perspective, but actually, if we apply ourselves with the right mood in whatever we're doing, we're completely satisfied and completely happy.
No, that's amazing.
But there's nothing wrong with wanting to serve Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you very much. That really is helpful.
Quite interesting. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mother Mangopu, you like to?
I continue. Yes, I continue.
Okay, let's call on someone else. You've gone through the tube.
I am ready.
Yeah, let's let Mother Anupama read.
Prabhu, we are reading from 204.
Yes.
Okay. That goal cannot be achieved by one who cares for knowledge, renunciation, or material success. It is only for one who, by Shri Krishna's mercy, depends on Krishna's devotional service and nothing else. Commentary. To further clarify how to achieve pure devotional service, in this verse, Bhakti Shastras say that devotees of the Lord are uninterested in karma, jnana, vairagya, and other methods of advancement. Karma here means acting according to one's prescribed duty. Jnana means understanding the difference between spirit and matter, atma and anatma. And vairagya means aloofness from sense gratification and other material attractions. A person who relies on karma, jnana, vairagya, or any other such method cannot achieve bhakti, because bhakti is achieved only by Shri Krishna's mercy. But then, since Shri Krishna is naturally compassionate to every soul, why doesn't everyone obtain pure devotional service? The Bhakti Shastras answer that the special mercy of devotional service acts only when a candidate has no interest in karma, jnana, or anything other than bhakti. Only such a person will be receptive to Krishna's special mercy. As Lord Brahma says in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10.14.8, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, and all the while patiently suffers the reactions of his past misdeeds, offering you respectful obeisances with his body, words, and heart, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. In this verse, the phrase Muktipada, which tells the goal for which one is eligible, should be correctly understood. The phrase can be explained in several ways. In one sense, it indicates the place, Pada, where the highest ecstasy is manifest, namely Shri Vaikuntha. In another sense, Pada means fruit. So Muktipada means the ultimate fruit of liberation. In other words, pure devotional service. In yet another sense, Pada means feet. So Muktipada means that which has liberation at its feet. Again, the path of devotional practice, because bhakti conquers and subjugates mukti. And it's still another sense, according to an established convention, the idea of mukti, cessation of material existence, should be understood to refer directly to bhakti itself. Following this last meaning, the word apar-raga, synonymous with mukti, is used as follows in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, 5:19 to 20. One may also achieve apar-raga after many, many births, when the result of one's pious activities mature, one gets an opportunity to to associate with pure devotees. Then one is able to cut the knot of bondage to ignorance, which bound him because of varied fruitive activities. As a result of associating with devotees, one gradually renders service to the Lord Vasudeva, who is transcendental, free from attachment to the material world, beyond the mind and words, and independent of everything else. That devotional service to Lord Vasudeva, Bhakti Yoga, is the real path of liberation. Lord Vasudeva is anattamaya, devoid of the attachment and other fruits that arise in the conditioned self. He is also anirukta, beyond the scope of words, and analiya, independent of any other shelter. Pure devotion for him without ulterior motives is true mukti.
Okay, if you just pause there a minute, Mother, because this purple is a massive purple. Somebody might scroll through a few pages. I just want to go back to the verse itself. Can anyone cite a verse which this more or less paraphrases? There's another verse, a well-known verse from the Nectar of Devotion. Anyone know it? Any Bhakti Sastri students? Anya Pilasita Sanyam Gana Kamani Anavritam Anukulena Krishnano Silanam Bhakti Uttama. So this verse is more or less paraphrasing that. Yeah. That the goal cannot be achieved by one who cares for knowledge, renunciation, or material success. Yeah. So now a more refined definition is actually given of devotion, that it's devoid of any other desire, yeah, other than that for Krishna or the service of Krishna's devotees. Yeah, it's only for, yeah. So just want to, yeah. All right, I just want to point that out. Okay, you can keep reading, Mother. Read another couple of paragraphs.
Okay. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:20-35, Lord Krishna confirms in his own words that renunciation of material motives is a prerequisite for bhakti. Complete detachment, it is said, is the highest stage of liberation. Therefore, one who is detached and does not pursue personal rewards can achieve loving devotional service unto me. Here, Krishna indicates that the highest goal, or the only real goal of life, is indifference to sense gratification and everything else material. Or to put it another way, the highest good can be achieved by the person who becomes indifferent to material things. That highest good is called liberation. But a person who is completely detached is indifferent even to liberation and the means of achieving it, knowledge, detachment, and so on. Therefore, such a person can achieve pure devotional service to Krishna.
Yes, so it's mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion that devotion is open to everyone. Akamo Saba Moksha. Yeah, whether one has full of material desires or one is free of material desires, everyone has the opportunity to actually take to devotional service. That's mentioned, I think, in the chapter, the purity of devotional service. So, for instance, one may be rendering service to Krishna, but they have some material desires within the heart. Yeah. So, but to actually achieve Krishna through that devotion, one has to become free of those things other than the desire to please Krishna. Yeah. So it's not as if we wait, devotion is only open. Well, actually, to obtain Krishna is only open to those who have no other desires. So that means there's some type of internal cleansing that has to happen. And I think we can all relate to that. We've come to Krishna for different various reasons and for one or the other. So the path of serving Krishna frees one from any ulterior motive if we actually serving Krishna and we're not making any offenses, then the reasons we come, I think, as we said before, and the reasons we come to devotion should generally not be the reasons we stay in devotion. Yeah, because we may come for, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, atha-vada bhajanti mam. There's 4 reasons generally people come to Krishna. But to stay serving Krishna, it means that bhakti should be there, devotion. Anyway, let's 6:59. So any final comments upon that? Otherwise we can press the pause button here. Yes. Okay. Let's just stop there then, and it should be okay next week. Yeah, and hopefully next week. I'll have to confirm things though. I should confirm things with Mother Chandravali. But next week should be clear. Let's see. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Wonderful, blissful
Hare
weekend in Krishna
Hare
consciousness.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Brhad Bhagavatamrta ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhu, thank you.
Jai Prabhu
Jai.
ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.